Good morning. I'm John Jones, Chairman of the Oklahoma Turnpike Authority. This meeting is being conducted pursuant to the notice provisions of the Oklahoma Open Meeting Act, with all participating authority members attending in person. This meeting is also being live streamed and recorded for remote viewing. While this meeting is open and public, there is no public comment scheduled for this meeting. The time is 10 a.m. and I'm calling the August 6th, 2024 regular meeting of the Oklahoma Turnpike Authority to order. Charity, please call the roll.
Mr. Bulberry.
Here.
Mr. Todd Cone.
Here.
Mr. Gene Love.
Here.
Mr. John Titsworth.
Here.
Ms. Dana Weber.
Here.
Mr. John Jones.
Here.
We have a quorum.
First items on the agenda this morning are recognition and awards. I call on Major Vowell.
Thank you, board members. I'm going to bring up Trooper Wayne Lindsay and Trooper Vince Curtis. If you just want to stand in front, and you don't have to be at attention. All right, so Trooper Wayne Lindsay, I'm going to start off with your award recognition today. Lindsay stopped an abandoned vehicle where he saw that there was an attempt made to change a flat tire and the vehicle had fallen off the jack. The driver and her husband had left to get more tools to fix the problem. Not knowing any of this, Trooper Lindsay went ahead and changed the tire, thinking that someone would probably return in a short time to fix the flat tire. I'm going to read the email that was submitted to DPS in regards to Trooper Lindsay's actions. Dear Trooper Lindsay, I own the Navigator that you found stranded on the side of the turnpike on Saturday. I am a home health nurse and was out seeing patients all day, and the tire blew out as I was leaving Luther and headed to Midwest City to see another patient. My husband came to try to help me, but we were unsuccessful and had to wait for roadside assistance. I had not eaten all day, and at this point, so we ran up to the next exit to grab something and went right back. You must have pulled up as we left. I cannot express to you my relief when we pulled back up and the tire was changed. I was then able to see my next patient and get her sent off to the hospital, so you not only saved my day, but my patient and her family. I cannot thank you enough for what you did for me. It makes me feel good to know that there are still some amazing people in the world. Bless you. Yeah.
By the way, Major Val, I saw one of your motorcycle troopers changing a tire this morning on my way up.
Very good. Okay. I was afraid you was going to say he stopped you for speeding.
No, no.
Wayne Lindsay and I are out of the same patrol school, so proud of you. Good job. Trooper Vince Curtis. Vince Curtis is on the XE Creek Turnpike Detachment, is recognized for his 42 speeding citations issued that were 25 miles per hour over the posted limit or greater, having a direct impact on the safety of the motorists traveling on this Creek Turnpike. Trooper Curtis, maintaining a high level of visibility, takes a great pride in his work and is to be commended for his efforts regarding his speed enforcement. Now, I'm only talking about these high level of speeds. I don't have time to talk about all the other stuff he does because he does a lot. Over the last 6 months, Trooper Curtis, while on routine traffic control in the Creek Turnpike, has issued 23 speeding citations for speeds more than 30 miles per hour over the posted speed limit, 19 citations for speeds 25 to 30. Top speed was 127 in a 65 mile an hour zone, 111 in 65 zone, and 108 in a 65 mile an hour zone. Trooper Curtis stopped a violator for speed of 90 miles per hour in an active work zone where speed was posted at 45. So I just wanted to recognize him for going above and beyond. Thank you. Thank you, Board.
On behalf of the board, I want to thank Trooper Curtis and Trooper Lindsay for their service. Our next item is the approval of minutes for the regular meeting of July 9th, 2024. Do we have a motion?
Motion for approval.
Second?
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Weber. Please vote appropriately electronically. Voting is ended, and the approval of minutes has been approved. Now on to our items of business, the finance items. Mr. Cohn.
Mr. Chairman, the first item is 1209, Micah Gardner.
Good morning, Chairman Jones, members of the authority. I'm presenting item number 1209 on behalf of the Internal Audit Department. This item is to request that the director execute a contract with Forvis Mazars LLP to provide external audit services to OTA for 2024, 2025, and 2026, with optional renewals for years ending 2027 and 2028. This contract includes a financial, construction, and single audit. The annual not-to-exceed amounts are as follows. For 2024, it is $212,500. 2025 is $223,350. 2026 is $234,750. For 2027 is $246,325. And for 2028, it is $258,900. The staff has reviewed this item and recommends it for approval. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Ms. Micah, do you mind just kind of reviewing for us the process that you guys went through in order to choose this firm?
Sure. So actually what we do is we issue a request for proposal. It is sent out to a list of nationally recognized firms, and it's actually posted for anyone to bid on that would like to. We actually received proposals back for this. It was reviewed by a selected committee at OTA, and a recommendation was presented to the audit committee prior to this meeting. The audit committee then had a chance to ask questions and review the details of these proposals. And then we brought it to you for approval.
So it's more than just throwing a dart at a board.
Yes, just a little bit more. Yes, sir.
How many responses did you get?
We received 3 for this
3.
one. Yes, sir.
Any other questions? If there are none, Mr. Chairman, based on the recommendation of the staff and the audit committee, I would move for approval of item 1209 as presented.
Thank you. We have a motion for approval of item 1209. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Weber. Please vote appropriately. Voting is ended, and item 1209 has been approved.
Thank you. The next item, Mr. Chairman, is item 1210, Ms. Smith.
All right. Before you, you have the toll rates for what's slated to be the new Hayburn interchange that should be opening early next year. The Turnpike Authority is really excited to be giving more access to more patrons out there, because good access to good roads gets them, from point A to point B early. So you'll see new toll rates for Hayburn on the agenda. So I'll take any questions.
Any questions? If there are none, Mr. Chairman, I would move for approval of 1210 as presented.
Thank you. We have a motion for approval of item 1210. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Weber. Please vote appropriately. Voting is ended, and item 1210 has been approved.
Ms. Smith, I think you have 1211 also.
Right, so similar to item 1210, we also have an interchange opening on the Will Rogers Turnpike. That should be opening closer to the end of this year. It's at Flint Road. Again, the toll rates are attached to that, and I will take any questions on that one as well.
Any questions? If none, then, Mr. Chairman, I would move for approval of item 1211 as presented.
Thank you. We have a motion for approval of item 1211. Do we have a second?
Second?
Thank you, Ms. Weber. Please vote appropriately. Voting is ended, and item 1211 has been approved.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Smith. The next item is 1212, Patrice Williams.
Good morning, Chairman Jones and members of the authority. I come today to ask for approval to authorize the director to negotiate and execute an amendment to the 2021 license plate image review amendment with Conduent and Conduent State and Local Solutions, Inc. This includes the approval of additional compensation for image review services as follows: a scaled cost for the image services ranging from 0.0610 to 0.0897 per image set. This amendment is necessary to accommodate the rise in wages and costs associated with AET plate pay image review services provided by Conduent. Staff has reviewed this and recommends approval.
Ms. Williams, I had one question.
Yeah.
When was the 2021 contract supposed to expire by its own terms? Do you have any idea?
It expires in 2 years.
In 2
And
years?
so, yes, so with this, in their contract, they have where they can ask for a yearly adjustment, and so this is just asking for that yearly adjustment.
That was my next question.
Okay.
Any other questions?
So that scale range, it goes up each year? Is that the way that works?
No,
Up
so
to-
it is based on how many images they review. So, just depending on how many, we pay less, but if it's, because they're our second vendor, so their range is, depending on the number of images that they review for us.
Any other questions? If there are none, Mr. Chairman, I would move for approval of item 1212 as presented.
Thank you. We have a motion for approval of item 1212. Do we have a second?
Second?
Thank you, Ms. Weber. Please vote appropriately. The voting is ended, and item 1212 has been approved.
Mr. Chairman, my final item is 1213, Bridget Patterson.
Good morning, Chairman Jones and members of the authority. Item number 1213 is the payment register prepared by the Comptroller Division. This payment register includes all payments made for the month of June 2024. The staff has reviewed this item and recommends this item for approval.
Any questions? If there are none, Mr. Chairman, I'd move for approval of item 1213 as presented.
Thank you. We have a motion for approval of item 1213. Do we have a second?
Second?
Thank you, Ms. Weber. Please vote appropriately. Voting is ended, and item 1213 has been approved. Next on the agenda items are the engineering and construction items. Mr. Berry.
Thank you, Chairman Jones. First item is item 1214, which will be presented by Mr. Garter.
Good morning, Chairman Jones and members of the board. Presented for the consideration of the authority is a request that this change order be approved. This change order adds new items to the contract to compensate the contractor for additional work. This item has been reviewed by staff and is recommended for approval. And as always, I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Are there any questions for Mr. Garter? If not, that I move that we approve this item as presented.
Thank you. We have a motion for approval of item 1214. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Love. Please vote appropriately. Voting is ended, and item 1214 has been approved.
Thank you, Mr. Garter. My next item is item 1215, which will be presented by Mr. Butler.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. Excuse me, good to see everyone here this morning. Engineering Division has 3 items we'd like to present for consideration today. That's items 1215, 1216, and 1217. Item 1215, this is a construction contract award for CMC 36. This is bridge rehabilitation of Bridge 32.97 at milepost 32.97 in Payne County. Project includes replacement of deck, beams, parapet, approach slabs, bearings, shoulders, and guardrails. As you can see there, we had 8 bids on the project. Again, that's a lot of bidders for us, and a lot of those were below the engineer's estimate. You can see there C3 Construction Incorporated was our low bidder, in the amount of $2,662,276.76. This is about 14.4% under the engineer's estimate. Because of the bidding environment right now, we are looking at projects to maybe accelerate, take advantage of the opportunity here of some lower bids, but staff's reviewed this and we recommend approval.
Are there any questions for Mr. Butler? If not, I move that we approve this item as accepted, or as presented.
Thank you. We have a motion for approval of item 1215. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Love. Please vote appropriately. Voting is ended, and item 1215 has been approved.
It's good to see these competitive bids coming in again. You know, several years ago, we were getting very, very competitive bids, and then it kind of started going up, and now it looks like
That's right.
they've
Yeah.
become more competitive.
Yeah, it kind of comes in waves and cycles, but again, to have this many low bids and this many bidders,
that was good.
we're thrilled about it.
Mr.
Okay,
Butler?
yeah. Item 1216 is our next item. This is a project agreement with City of Broken Arrow. Submitted for the consideration of the authorities, a request to authorize the director to enter into a project agreement with the City of Broken Arrow to allow for a new connection to East 101st Street, AKA East New Orleans Street, northbound on-ramp to Creek Turnpike near milepost 23. The City of Broken Arrow provide all funding for design, construction management, and the tolling equipment. So they'll pick up the tab 100%. If you're from up in that area, you've heard of the Sunrise Amphitheater that they're building there off the Creek Turnpike. The City of Broken Arrow came to us and asked us to partner or allow some type of additional access. And in working with their engineers, we thought it'd be appropriate. Again, they would need to pick up the funding expense, and they're going to do that 100%. So this agreement, which we're currently working on, will allow these things to happen for us.
And this is the benefit of the cashless tolling we're doing all over our system.
That's
we can
correct.
jump on,
Yeah, and
jump on.
that's a great point. This is an existing tolling point as it sits, and we went through our AET conversion. We closed some of those cash lanes, obviously. So what we're doing is, this is a little button hook ramp off their frontage road, and it's just gonna roll right up into that unused cash lane, which was sitting there closed off anyway. So that's correct.
That's good use of assets,
That's great.
especially when they're paying for it.
Yeah. We
Any
like
other
those.
questions? If not, I move that we approve this item as presented.
Thank you. We have a motion for approval of item 1216. Do we have a second?
Second the motion.
Thank you, Mr. Love. Please vote appropriately. Voting is ended, and item 1216 has been approved.
Mr. Butler?
Yes, sir. Item 1217, this is a logo signing contract with Oklahoma Logos LLC. Consider and vote to authorize the director to execute a new contract with Oklahoma Logos LLC effective August 16th, 2024. The logo signing program provides motorists with information on gas, food, lodging, camping, and tourism attractions. And these are the blue signs that you see on the side of the highway that might have a hotel logo or restaurant logo or fuel. OTA has an existing contract with Logos that will expire on the 15th of this month. The new contract parallels an identical contract between ODOT and Logos that was recently awarded pursuant to an ODOT competitively bid solicitation process. OTA is utilizing ODOT solicitation process for this new contract in accordance with Oklahoma law. OTA's new contract with Logos will be a period from August 16, 2024 through August 15th of 2029, and this provides for 3 5-year extensions as well. The contract will generate an estimated $240,000 in annual revenue for the OTA. This contract with Logos goes back to 1992, so for about 32 years, we've been partnering with them to date. We've brought in a revenue of about $1.5 million, and happy to work with them on this project. John Rand Smith is here with us today. John, if you want to stand up, I'll get you involved here, buddy. He administers the contract on that side, and again, appreciate the partnership with them.
How does the annual revenue there compare to previous years?
Yeah, so the $240,000, this is going to be based on a new percentage, a new cut that the OTA will get, which is now 53%. In the past, that was, I think about 35% was our revenue share, so.
So it's gone up.
It's gone up, yeah. Close your ears, John. ODOT did a good job in negotiating that contract, but, yeah, so it is going up for us.
Well, it's very beneficial to users of the roads to know where those locations are for whatever services that they need. So.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's again, a great partnership. We get calls on a pretty regular basis from, business owners or whoever it may be looking for some kind of way to get traffic, to their facility. So
Yeah.
this is a great tool to do that.
Yep, good.
Any more comments or questions? If not, I move that we approve this item as presented.
Thank you. We have a motion for approval of item 1217. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Love. Please vote appropriately. Voting is ended, and item 1217 has been approved. Thank you, Mr. Berry. Moving on, the agenda section of reports. The first one is our Highway Patrol report. Major Val.
Thank you, Chairman, members of authority. For the month of June, Turnpike troopers made 3,871 violator contacts, assisted with 613 motorist assists, investigated 133 motor vehicle collisions. Troopers worked 927 shifts, averaging 191 miles per shift for a total of just over 177,000 miles driven. We did have one fatality on the Indian Nation Turnpike, single occupant, single vehicle. 13 criminal interdictions were reported. And for your review, you have the specific information regarding our CMV enforcement, aircraft, and motorcycle enforcements as well. Do you have any questions?
You're moving around pretty good. Obviously, the shoulder's doing a lot better.
Getting there. 2 more weeks, I go back and see if I can't get released.
You're not going to stretch it a little longer so you don't have to wear your uniform?
Well, as hot as it is, I might.
I had a question about the fatality. Do we know if the driver was wearing a seatbelt?
No, it was ejected.
It's another reason. I know
Hear it all the time.
Tim Gatz and Joey Kelly both are, high on their list of reminding people you need to wear a seatbelt.
I'll include, you just made me think of something, August 16th, we're gonna be putting out a press release for Move Over, Slow Down. It's gonna take all across the state. So we're gonna have the message boards up, and we're gonna work for that whole week, focusing on people not moving over for people on the shoulder. So hopefully that'll do something.
Good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next up is our consulting engineer report, Jimmy Sparks.
Good morning, Chairman Jones, members of the authority, Director Kelly. Concerning the trust requirements, we are compiling our new inspection data in preparation of our final report due to OTA staff on October 1st. And of course, within that report, we will be updating our recommendations for the 5-year capital plan and looking at the projects, see if there's anything that needs to be accelerated or moved forward. I wanted to follow up on a question Mr. Love asked last month about a pavement south of Lawton on the A.G. Bailey Turnpike. We've studied that section of pavement several times, and and kind of discuss the most cost-effective solutions. While it does have faulting that the diamond grinding takes out, the bump to bump from panel to panel, that is one section that has very long undulations in it. So, consolidation of the subgrade way back when it was built. And we're looking at that on the best treatment, the most cost-effective treatment on that. So, and that's either diamond grind or reconstruct are the two options there. So, in July, our engineers checked 22 different overloads for travel in the system. I do want to report, this just happened, but just bring to your attention a truck fire underneath Turner Bridge 78-8, which is just immediately west of the Sepulpa interchange. That happened Thursday, August 1st. Our inspectors were on site that night to look at it. Everything was still very hot then. Did a follow-up inspection yesterday, so we'll be meeting with OTA staff to discuss the options there. We're assessing the beam for several different scenarios, but I will point out that David Murdoch, or Doc, was out there yesterday, and he said hadn't seen something like that in his, was it over 40 years or whatever. So so simply put, the beam got super hot, and so we'll be finalizing the recommendations there. As always, our capital plan project summary is in our monthly report, and I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Jimmy, we were talking about H.E. Bailey earlier this morning before the meeting, and that part that we were talking about was milepost 20 to 27?
20 to 27 specifically,
2027,
yes.
yeah, got it.
Yeah.
Drove under and past that bridge where the fire was this morning, and new bridge, looking beautiful, and now it has a black section.
It's a big, a lot of
Such a
lot of
shame.
suit, yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Any questions? Thank you, Jimmy. Next up is our trustee report. Ms. Singleton.
Good morning, Chairman, members of the authority. As bond trustee to the authority, all monthly debt service transfers were made for the semi-annual payments due to the bondholders as required by the trust agreement. To our knowledge, all other requirements set forth under the trust agreement have been satisfied. Questions on my report?
I just love how wonderfully boring your report is every month.
That's a report we always like to hear.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next up are the operating results and financial condition. Wendy Smith. Good morning, Wendy.
Chairman Jones, members of the authority, you've all received your operations report for June prepared by the Comptroller Division, and as you can see, OTA continues to be in a strong financial position and in compliance with this trust indenture, as our trustee reported earlier. Net toll revenues for June outpaced June of 2023 by 7%, coming in at about $33.8 million. Total transactions were fairly flat, and that really is a result of the fact that trucks are up more than the two axle vehicles. Additionally, year-to-date toll revenues continue to outpace the same part of last year by an impressive 10.3%. We continue to maintain a conservative approach to spending, and collectively for the year, the division managers held their revenue operating expenses to 21.8% under the 2024 operating and maintenance budget, and continue to steadily achieve and exceed our trust-required senior and total debt service coverage ratios. I also we just wanted to say we appreciate the fact that the passage of the toll rates for the interchanges slated to be open in the next few months. Having access to good schools, hospitals, and roads is just good public policy, and the Turnpike Authority is happy to provide that access on the roads that we're really, really proud of and we keep in such good shape. Along with that, as you guys know, the Pike Pass reads allow us to know where a person gets onto the road and where they get off, and that allows us to just charge them for the portion of the road that they drive on, and we're glad to be able to do that as well. And as you know, the additional access points are a big part of the access program, no pun intended, and we are really proud of that. The Gilcrease is also continuing to do just as well as I've been reporting over the last few months, so I'll take any questions.
Any questions? Thank you, Wendy. Great report.
Thank you.
That brings us to our director's report. Director E. Kelly, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman and members of the authority. Couple things I'd like to recap on just a little bit. The toll rates, and Wendy hit on it pretty well, the ability for us to add a couple of new interchanges in the coming months as we get a little bit closer in construction. We're going to talk about the dates that those are going to open. We're trying to get interchanges like that, new access points, open as soon as we can. We know that there are people that live specifically between Bristow and Kellyville that are anxiously awaiting. We're getting calls just about every day. People that I know are texting me routinely asking when they'll be able to utilize those new ramps. And so we want to get those open as quick as we can, and so appreciate the authority passing those new toll rates. That'll help us get the signs made and get those ramps opened up as quickly as possible. Just like Wendy said, we know that increases safety. Mr. Chairman talked about seat belts earlier. You know, I can't make everybody put a seat belt on, but I can try to make improvements to our system, and TJ and staff and all of his staff can try to make improvements to the system that enhance the safety and make everybody's travel a little bit easier. And so we're always working on that, and that's what these new interchanges will do. A couple of updates on cashless conversion. We're down to the last 2 roads that need to be converted, still targeting by the end of the year, the Indian Nation and the Will Rogers. Right now, we've got the Indian Nation Turnpike slated to have a partial conversion toward the end of this month, actually August 28th. The State Highway 3 interchange that's at Antlers will go cashless. The mainline toll plaza that's south of Henrietta, north of McAllister, will go cashless, and the State Highway 9 ramps that are at that mainline interchange that go to Eufaula will convert all on August 28th. Folks may ask why we're converting part of it and not, while we're still not ready to convert the McAllister mainline toll plaza that's right there just south of Highway 69. And the reason for that is we continue to have accidents in the toll zones. So rather than wait for an all-inclusive ribbon cutting or completion of that entire project, people are already confused about whether they need to stop and pay cash or just drive through. We're seeing that routinely. It's in the monthly report about how many people are already using plate pay going through the Pike Pass lanes without a Pike Pass. So we're just going ahead and making that conversion. It's just going to be a month or so, month and a half ahead of the total conversion, but by doing that, we see a tremendous reduction in accidents. And so we're not going to hold that up. We're going to move forward with it. The demolition of that road will be at the end of the year. Once this conversion is complete on the Indian Nation Turnpike, you'll no longer need to stop and pay cash, but you'll be able to visit if you have a Pike Pass, nothing changes, right? But if you are a cash customer currently, you'll need to visit platepay.com. I talked last month, I think, about the new, or I think Amanda did, about the new search by license plate. So you don't even have to wait to get an invoice. If you haven't received an invoice in the mail for whatever reason, whether it's you recently moved or you bought a vehicle or you put a different license plate on it, you can search by license plate using platepay.com and pay your toll bill without having to receive an invoice. So we're excited about that upgrade that we talked about last month. Just to recap in a little bit more detail on that. So if you drive a turnpike and you don't have a Pike Pass, your license plate should be searchable. That transaction should happen on our website in about 5 business days. Doesn't post automatically. There's a review process. We try to get those as accurate as we can. So it takes a couple of days, but usually within 5 days, that transaction will show up and you'll be able to pay for it. Little bit of an update on the Turner Turnpike and some of the construction that's going on there. We've got a project at Wellston to replace a bridge. If you've driven the Turner Turnpike ever, you've crossed that bridge going over Route 66 there at Wellston. That bridge is at a severe skew. It's a very outdated, it's an original bridge to original construction. It needs to be replaced, and it's a challenging location to work in. It's probably the last bridge that'll be the worst bridge to replace on the Turner Turnpike, if that makes sense. The condition of the bridge, it's not one that we can widen for the future expansion. and it's over a kind of a box tunnel that's underneath it. In order to replace that bridge, and the reason it's never been done is because it's such a challenge, we have to take the entire Turnpike traffic off of that bridge. You can't take a little piece of the bridge off and scoop people over and crowd them. There's just not enough room for that. We can't take the Turner Turnpike down to one lane each direction for months on end. That would cause accidents. So the best solution, and we did this when we were widening on the east end, we would take traffic off of the main line and put them over the extended box while we were doing some work in the middle. That's similar to what we're gonna do here. Because we're crossing Route 66 at this location, it requires us to close Route 66 for about a year. So in order to do that, Route 66 will be detoured, local traffic around a local detour route, and using some of the county roads. The image that's shown on the screen there is the state highway system detour. So if you're eastbound and you get off at 66, you'll go east over to 177, south down to 62, west over to 102, and then back north to Route 66 again, and the opposite direction for the other detour. But we've been working closely with the city of Wellston, Lincoln County. They've been great project partners for this project. We met with them early as we started talking about needing to rehab this bridge. We talked about how it would impact the community, and it was their request and the counties to connect through a county road that wasn't currently connected, and then for us to come in as part of the project, pave that dirt road and compact the dirt, widen the county road, get pavement down so that the locals will have a local detour that's not the detour that was just shown a second ago, which will really help them be able to maintain their businesses. People that are trying to get to and from Oklahoma City or Tulsa to and from work will still be able to get there with just a 3-mile detour as opposed to the longer detour that was shown. So been a great project to work on, and I know that closure is coming up. I think it's expected to close on August 21st, and it'll close August 21st, and then I think the actual closure is going to be 6 or 7 months of closure there. Again, we have to take the Turner Turnpike and set it off to basically to the side, so there'll be a little chicane in the I-44 route going through there. Let's see, we've got also as a part of that project, trying not to impact the businesses. There's a pretty notable barbecue restaurant there, and several other things that are there in Wellston, but one of the destinations is the barbecue restaurant. So we've put up some business access signs that'll help people that are getting off the turnpike that are trying to get to those businesses see which direction they need to go and how to get to them. Let's see, that project, all inclusive, which includes widening about 3/4 of a mile of the Turner, is supposed to be done about a year from now, summer of next year. So we're really excited about that. One last thing, the east end of the Turner Turnpike, if you've driven it recently, and I know three of our board members did this morning, you'll notice a lot of dirt work that's been going on by time. They've used about 22% of the time, and we've expended about 27% of the money, making it about 25% complete. They just started, I think, in March with that construction. Excited to get the new interchange done, which we talked about just a little bit earlier, but really excited to get that 6-lane portion done that'll really connect Bristow better to the Tulsa metropolitan area and provide better access for all of us that drive between Oklahoma City and Tulsa on a regular basis. Something that you will see in the coming weeks, the dirt work on this project is not balanced across the turnpike, meaning they need dirt on one side of the turnpike that we have on the other side of the turnpike. Since there's not a crossing in that area, we're going to utilize a conveyor belt system that'll go overhead, over the top of the turnpike. That'll be something that'll be unique and different. It's a cost savings for the contractor, time savings, gets the project done a little bit quicker, doesn't impact neighboring landowners so much. So that'll be something that you'll see in the coming weeks as they begin to install that. It's got plenty of clearance. It's guarded on each side. Nothing's going to come off of it. We have no concerns there. This has been done before in our state, and I'm sure will be something that we'll utilize this kind of technology moving forward on other projects. in the future when this, when it makes sense. So this is just something that you will see in the coming weeks. Lastly, when we have an accident on the turnpike and it results in a fatality, and I appreciate the chairman pointing out that it was an accident where somebody wasn't wearing their seatbelt. In Oklahoma, you can increase your chance of surviving a major accident by 50% if you just put that seatbelt on. And it's something that I can't make anybody do, but we can all talk about it with our loved ones and our friends and family as we talk, as we move back into the school season. Gosh, summer's already over. I can't believe it. So kids are going back to school here very soon, and people who haven't been taking a lot of trips will begin routinely driving back and forth to schools and to work. And it's important that everybody wear their seatbelt while they're doing so. So with that, Mr. Chairman, I'd stand for any questions that the board might have of me.
Any questions? Joe, I have a comment, and I'm going to ask you to respond to something. In light of the recent news about environmental issues concerning OTA and how we deal with those, would you take a moment to advise the board and the general public about the importance of environmental issues that OTA deals with, and how that affects our operations in general?
So I'm going to try to make 3 different points I think that are probably important around this. Number one is the Turnpike Authority, whether I'm here or TJ's here or any of us, is required to follow all the rules, regulations, laws that pertain to the type of work that we do. Specifically, usually around this issue is the dirt work. That's usually what triggers some of the permitting and some of the regulation, is how much dirt work we are doing. We do, and we seek multiple permits like that every year during an expansion program where we're doing a lot of widening, where we're building new alignments. That's not unusual to anybody who builds roads, whether that's county, city, state, turnpike part of the state, or the DOT part of the state. Not unusual for us. We work through that process with those regulators, with the regulatory agencies. We work within the law. We try to avoid any impacts to any environmental item. We try to minimize, if we can't avoid it, we try to minimize that. And if we can't minimize, and we are going to have some kind of impact, whether it be to a wetland, whether it be to anything, then we have to mitigate for it. And the Turnpike Authority's done a great job of that. We were able to be very successful with the recent expansion, building the Kickapoo Turnpike and the south extension of the John Kilpatrick, and widening the Turner. Those were the 3 big dirt projects that had some impacts. We, again, tried to avoid where we could, minimize as best that we could, and then mitigate for those impacts when they occur. So I want to hit on that there's no laws that don't apply to us. I want to hit on that we are really, really good at what we do. We've got a team of consultant engineers. We've got a team of environmental folks that include biologists and cultural resource archaeologists. And so we do a really good job at working through these types of issues. The most recent news has talked about, I think, a watershed. And the comment that I would have around that is that just about every road in the United States occurs in somebody's watershed. I'm originally from McAllister. McAllister gets, in that area, gets a lot of water out of Lake Eufaula, and a lot of water drains to Lake Eufaula. All of the Canadian rivers, and there are multiple highways, interstates, county roads, private driveways, houses that occur in the watershed that flows into Lake Eufaula and that flows into all of our lakes and all of our watersheds. And so it's something that we take seriously, we're paying attention to, and we'll continue to work through the permitting and some of those, the permitting specifically. One other thing that was in the news article I saw this morning talked about some complaints. It's not unusual when you seek multiple permits like we do to receive some complaints. I think the the telling story is how does the agency that went and got those permits, how do they react to a complaint? And to my knowledge, through the Driving Forward program, since I've been a part of the Turnpike Authority, we've received complaints. We've been able to mitigate, fix, address those very quickly. Matter of fact, we've had instances where had a big rain overnight, unprecedented storms that occurred in a construction area where we had a lot of dirt exposed. We dropped everything for the next couple of days and got the site cleaned up, silt fence, rock filter dams, all those types of things reinstalled. So we take that really, really serious. You can't do a whole lot about a 10-inch rain when it occurs in 4 or 5 hours. I mean, that just doesn't happen very often, causes us a lot of issues. But it's something that we're prepared for. The other thing that we didn't do as part of the Driving Forward program, but we are bringing this as a part of the Access program, is we're going to have a third-party environmental compliance consultant that will be visiting the project daily, weekly, as needed, after rains, after rain events, after precipitation, following up on any complaints, and then they'll report and work directly with DEQ and us at OTA and our contractors to make sure we're in compliance all the time. Just an expert set of eyes that visits a project routinely. So we're trying to go above and beyond. We are all the time open to additional ideas about how we can do this better, but I think we do a really good job. And I'm really proud of the team and the way we've been able to conduct ourselves in the years past for the projects that I've been associated with.
Thank you. Any other questions?
I would just say I appreciate the fact that you take that, and we see it every day, that you take all this seriously and that you're always looking for ways to do things better and keep looking for ways to improve. And I know people make comments that are critical of the Turnpike Authority, and I would just say from my experience, they're through lack of knowledge or choosing not to delve into the facts as opposed to what the facts actually tell us. So my compliments to you and your team for everything you do to go above and beyond, to exceed what's required as opposed to just meeting what's required. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, Joe. That concludes our items for business of August 6th, 2024 meeting. I move that we adjourn to our next meeting scheduled for Tuesday, September 10th, 2024 at 10 a.m. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Mr. Cohn, please vote appropriately. Voting is ended, and we are adjourned to Tuesday, September 10th, 10 a.m.